would love to see this.
You know what else is hilarious? The FBI withdrawing their subpoena against USA Today.
So wait, you're saying federal agency did something against the civilian population and to harm them?
I don't know who's saying it.
Gosh, that's never happened. It never happened during the Black Panther Party. It never happened with Martin Luther King. It never happened.
Okay, so
went on a
since you said that, do you think that CIA took him out? I do.
I don't know. But my tinfoil hat right here says yes.
Wait. Took who out? Who are we talking about?
MLK.
Oh. I mean, they had a lot to do with the Black Panthers.
No, that was Malcolm X.
Oh, just kidding.
I'll send you that article, Peach. But
thank you.
FBI, the government abusing its power. I don't know if you guys remember back way when it was Washington Post, New York Times, and a couple other publications. Well, the Justice Department had actually tried to subpoena for these journalists' phone records to try to reveal their sources for the stories. And the administration at the time was just like, that's not cool. You don't do that. Biden now also says this is wrong. We shouldn't do this. Yet, the FBI recently subpoenaed Gannett, which is the parent company of USA Today, for reader information. So that includes IP addresses, locations, email addresses, any information about the reader who read a certain article between a certain period of time. USA Today, or Gannett's representative, basically turned around and said, no, we're not doing this. Basically, for you to ask us who read what on our website is an infringement on on their First Amendment rights, and we're not going to do that. Ultimately, the FBI ended up withdrawing that subpoena because they ended up finding their whatever answers they needed elsewhere. But why is that like the first step of like what led them there? And I don't know. I wasn't able to find any information. They just keep saying the investigation's ongoing, but it's related to something that happened in Florida the last couple of days. So I wanted to ask you guys, like, what does that make you? How does that make you feel? Like, if you were to read an article on your phone, and then the government is seeing what you're reading when you're reading it, along with your information, like, that just feels gross to me.
Yeah, no.
It makes me glad to have an AR-15.
It makes me glad to have an. Yeah, I was about to mention the VPN. Like, if this tells me anything, is that the government's looking for anyone at this point. So I'm gonna start using a VPN from now.
All day, every day, buddy.
Or all day.
I'm glad that Gannett ended up turning around and saying, look, we're not doing this. This is an infringement on the First Amendment rights, instead of like bending. Because I'm somebody who's like a rule follower, right? Like, if the FBI was just like, boom, 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 we need to take your computer, I'd be like, here it is. Like, I don't want any problems. But I'm really glad that they said no, and I'm glad, and it didn't become public until Gannett resisted it in court, and then at that point the FBI withdrew them. So what other things is the Justice Department pursuing to gather information? And that's what I want to know.
I mean, it's not uncommon for the United States government to request log information from VPN handlers. So they probably figured, you know what, let's bully a news organization to give us the information we only to turn around.
I really feel like this was a feeler, right? Like, let's see what we can get away with.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Because right now they've been having so many. So the infringement on a lot of our rights, federal agencies have been outsourcing it to big tech, right? And I feel like that's a loophole they've really overused. And this was more of a, well, let's just see what we can get away with.
Well, maybe. And you told us yesterday they pulled their permit they just ended up pulling it completely.
Mm-hmm. Or their permit. Yeah, there's subpoena for the records. And they never even, like, USA Today didn't even say, like, oh, we have this information. And the FBI told them not to disclose that. But they probably do. Like, it's somewhere. It's stored somewhere.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a diversion tactic. I still do. Here, I'm gonna distract you with saying, "Hey, I'm gonna subpoena your stuff," when they're gonna look for other information in the shady way.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past them because the FBI and the CIA do employ a lot of hackers.
Employ that time.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them.
I think this is a way overstep. And yeah,
Yeah, we
and
shouldn't
the
let
US economy just crashed already so we can take over and rebuild a new
just kill off all the rich people.
Whoa,
Eat the
okay.
rich.
Whoa. Sorry, Daddy Bezos. I'm not always right
Why are you encouraging violence, Peach? Gosh.
because I woke up today and I chose ruckus. I say this every time. Look at what shirt I'm wearing.
Hey, so Peach, what did you do to convince Dom that you're always right?
I didn't do anything.
Peach sus.
I'm always sus.
Yeah, did y'all hear about that too? That they're trying to push some like $3,600 stimulus?
I
Yeah.
did hear something vaguely about that. Alan's mom was talking about it, and I was like, "What? Another stimulus? We need that?" And then I didn't look into it.
Yeah,
Get it?
I tried looking into the fourth stimulus. I think it's just a leftover of the American plan that Biden put out, and they're just issuing the last of the payments. So I'm not entirely certain it's a fourth, but I know that families that have one or more children will begin to receive benefits from the government. I think it's like 250 per child a month.
A
So-
month?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Mhm. That's supposed to start this month on the 15th.
It's $250 per child a month.
Like, don't get me wrong, like as a parent, that could totally go for like clothes or anything that he needs, but I don't I don't know exactly where the cutoff is, so that's the other issue.
But so
Start
I
that
mean,
college fund.
I understand the help that it can give a lot of people that are in need. But then again, like where's that money coming from? Like we've already seen the aftermath of all this stimulus right now. You know, you can't leave the grocery store without spending $200 right now.
Yeah.
And that's for just bare basics. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would families be better served with less government interference in the price of things? You know, stop causing inflation, and would that better serve the families?
Oh. But I mean, I want to know where these funds are coming from too. Just
Especially
how
since the US is $1 trillion in debt as it is.
Did you guys know that the US government buys cheese or used to buy cheese on the regular?
Government cheese, yeah.
Government cheese.
My
I didn't
dad
know
said it
about
made the best nachos.
that.
Peach told me this last night, and I was like, "Government cheese." Like, it makes sense.
It was because the milk industry was dying. That's why we saw so many got milk commercials and PSAs. Like
Peach,
you
we're
need
waiting for a
stretch.
peach stretch.
we're at
Yeah.
oh. I already stretched. I
I'm a
put my
little-
arms out and then I showed off my shirt. What do you mean you're waiting for a
Well,
peach stretch?
I'm
What's up,
watching you,
Kels?
Dom.
Gary,
For a
you
show.
should have seen. I'll send a picture. You should have seen the squash I picked today.
Oh, dude.
It was humongous.
You know what
I
else?
made a casserole out of one squash.
What else is big?
What else is humongous? The mistake the FBI did,
What?
trying to ask
Yeah.
USA Today for data.
And I mean, I totally get a lot of the things, right? Like what Kels is saying. Like I get it, but at the same time, so this comes back to some of the stuff I was talking to with some of my guys today, right?
Hmm.
So right now,
Not your guy.
like me personally, I'm at the point where I'm 98% reliant on a corporation or the government to give me food or water or shelter. Right? Like, I pay a mortgage on my house, which some corporation owns technically. I get my food from their grocery store, right? So me myself, I'm a 98% dependent person, right? And so the only way that I can think of to affect change moving forward is to lower my own dependency on corporations and government. So that's why one of the reasons I've been pushing to learn to garden and have food growing, you know, step up my hunting game. It's like those are the only things I know to more or less make it better for myself.
Like offset that major
Yeah.
costs.
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
And if a lot of people started getting that mentality, things would change.
Yeah, the government wouldn't be as powerful as it is. Just think going around and asking for stuff when it feels like it needs to.
I mean, I can honestly say every one of my grandparents, well, not everyone. So 3 out of my 4 grandparents, right? They at one point lived on a farm. My parents completely depended on the system, right? So it's like, how can we change? How can we move forward and start making something better? And I think it's just, we got to pick the small changes.